Alright guys, what's up? Who do we have here?
My name's Alex, and I made second place at the Dallas Regional this weekend, and I was running Bonney, and yeah.
What made you pick Bonney?
Comfort. I was playing Dofi before this, but I think Dofi is like a slightly overrated deck, and I think Bonnie's a slightly underrated deck, and I'm a little more comfortable playing Bonney. So mainly just for comfort, but it also has like a pretty good matchup spread overall. That's really the reason.
Okay, that's fair. So you want to get into that?
Alright, so start off for Baby 5, no real explanation here, it's just a searcher for all the Don Quixote cards. For Bonney, again, no real explanation yet, nothing really to dive into yet. 2 killer, I guess you could play the 3-drop Bartolomeo blocker if you want. It's also a good choice because you get to cycle, but he's like, I don't know, block draw card. He's cost 2 Don. He's a little more practical, so I opted to play him, I guess. And then 4 of the Rose Latte. It's probably the best blocker, you know, like it's definitely your best baby blocker. And yeah, that's it for the small part of the deck, I guess. 2Ks, 4 Baby 5. It's just, I don't know, there's not really a reason to play the other one either. Like, and then I play 4 Scratch Mana Poo. The only reason I play this over the other Scratch Mana Poo is because it taps down the Shirahoshi blocker in an L. There's literally no other reason I could have thought of. So that's it. I play 8 2Ks.
Only 8?
I will only play 8 2Ks, and then I play the 0 cost spell, but that's like in the, I'll explain that in a bit. Onto the actual where I could actually start explaining stuff. Cavendish, I mean, he's your best guy on 5. If you have him set up early, it just makes your game go a lot smoother. Things just don't go as smoothly without him like on the board early. I mean, you could obviously make it work, but he just makes life easier. I mean, he's like kind of like sort of like your heart and soul of the deck in a way. He just kind of makes everything bind together really well. For Carrot, I wasn't the biggest fan of Carrot in like set 8, but my bad. In 8.5, he is yeah, Carrot's pretty good. You need it in like a lot of matchups like that are like aggro, and it's really good against like Dofi. You know, it's good against like just a variety of things. Like even an L sometimes is pretty good against.
Yeah,
like,
Carrot's insane against Dofi.
Yeah, against Dofi, it's like pretty much the main reason, and just a variety of things. Like if you need something to play on 5 or 6 and want on Dawn Open, like you can't just play like Cavendish. You need like, it's basically just for like slots, sort of. It's like the main reason. It's also just a really good card. So yeah, that's why I play 4 of it. Hawkins. Hawkins is like he's kind of your go-to in situations where there's not really anything to do. Like he's like there's nothing crazy special about Hawkins, but that's kind of what's so good about him. He's just like a very universal card. He's like I played 4 of him because like I was anticipating that I'd run into a lot of Luchis, and like I don't want to lose a game where I didn't like see Hawkins because I played 3 of him, so that's why I played 4.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask. A lot of people cut this down to 3.
Yeah.
Do you think 4 still?
So no, I think 3. I think 3 is totally fine. I think 3 would have been better for me this because I played against 0 Luchis, if I'm being honest, this event. But I think the only reason 4 is correct is because you just don't want to run into you don't want to run into a Lucci or Smoker and say, oh man, dude, I lost to this Lucci player because I was playing 3 like Hawkins. You know, you want to see it more consistently, and it's really important you see it in the matchup still. Even though they have Jack, it's like it's really the most consistent card you have, even with all that being said. So there's that. Hody, MVP of the deck, not even close. This is the best card in the deck. It's I mean, I don't even know what to say. He's just so good. Like he allows you to over defend in matchups. Like again, like for example, against like Dofi, you can over defend early and not have a lot of cards in hand and maybe take 1 damage, and then once you get to 7 Dawn, you're like 4 and have like 4 life and have like 4 in hand or whatever. You can play down Hody and just tap whatever. And if you have like Cavendish Hody on board, Hody just becomes infinitely better. It's like the best combination is just having a Hody and a Cavendish. It's just so much pressure, and so much board control. That life is like, getting that extra life is like such a benefit in a lot of matchups, mainly NL and BY to an extent, and Nami. I don't know, stuff like that. It's just such an amazing card. It's like the X factor of the deck. Like this deck, like you're playing very slow. You're playing like one like boss monster a turn, and once you're like all set up, like this is the X factor. You tap Dawn, you can tap blockers. You know, he's like the surprise factor. Yeah, he's how you catch your opponent off guard a lot, and he's just really good. I think people sort of underutilize him a little bit. I think people should play a little more aggressively with this card too. I don't know. But I love Hody. He was probably my favorite card the entire weekend, I'm not gonna lie. 3 Kid, really good against Dofi. It's just a really good card. I mean, there's not really much to explain about Kid. I think 4 is just too much. You don't have a lot of open room to play too many boss monsters because you're already so low in counterable cards. You can't really pump up his ratios, and I opted to play like 4 Hawkins over like 4 Kid because like the Hawkins is just gonna save me versus like Lucci. But the Kid, you know, really good against Dofi, really good against a few other matchups too, and just good card overall. I mean, just makes your leader AK essentially. You know.
You like playing 3?
Yeah, I think 3 is the golden ratio. I don't think you could play more or less. I think it's a little bit of a golden ratio. For Dofi. Dofi is, Dofi's amazing. Dofi basically just says skip a turn. You freeze our board, and it basically just stuns them for. The only difference is you have a 10k, that you know, and they don't, or whatever, and then you just keep chaining them until you're able to, you know, start something. But if you need, like, basically you only really want to be playing this card is like if you actually have, like, if you just need time. Like otherwise, like this is another card I think is like utilized a little incorrectly, is I think people will just like slam down a Dofi because there's like 3 tap monsters, but I think the way you generally want to be playing this card is to buy, like fundamentally is to buy time. Like if there's a better card to play and you don't like you don't have to just slam it because it's 10 cost and you have 10 Dawn. You slam it because like you're just like buying time, and like there's just other cards you could be playing when you're not trying to buy time and you're just trying to develop. So, but he's really good. I mean, he's but that's his use. His use is like, you know, stalling for time and getting like a 10k on board.
Yeah, you kind of
really good against BY.
Yeah.
Notably, I guess, and NL.
I was gonna ask. You expected a lot of BY. I know everyone in the group expected a bunch.
Yeah, but it's not always enough, which is why I played the secondary MVP of the deck, Zoro. I chose not to play Shanks. So people are usually playing 2 Shanks, but I took out both Shanks entirely for 2 Zoro, and the reason is because, like, if you think about it, when people play down a Shanks, like, you know, it's good. Like it immediately did its job. Like you cleared a body, it's good. I'm not gonna argue Shanks is a good card. But when you play down a Zoro and the Zoro stays for a turn, it's like, well, that just sucks. That sucks for your opponent because you just like have this card that's just gonna kill anything that like comes in its path, and you just have a guy that can just swing 3 attacks for the rest of the game. As to where like Shanks is like, you get immediate gratification, but this card is like not like instant gratification. You play it and you just have it forever, sort of, unless they red rock it or something. But you know, if you play correctly with the card, and in some matchups it's literally an auto win. Like if you play against BY Luffy, NL, or Nami, like it's like the most auto win card. And I love this card this weekend. I will say I don't like it against Dofi though. That's the only thing. But whatever. 3 spell. I was playing 4, but I just needed room for like more boss monsters. So I think 3 again is sort of the golden ratio.
Just 4's too clunky.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily too clunky. Like I think there's merit to playing 4, but I think 3 just allows you a little more leeway to play whatever boss monsters you want to play. And yeah, that's the deck.
You want to tell us your actual matchups throughout the whole tourney?
All right, my actual matchups throughout the whole tourney were round 1. I played. Okay, so my matchups this tourney were Nami, So yeah, round 1 was Nami. Round 2 was Katakuri. Round 3 was Bonney. Round 4 was another Katakuri. Round 5 was a Dofi. Round 6, a Pudding. Round 7 was another Luffy. Round 8 was another BY Luffy. Round 9 was what was round 9? I have it on my phone. Let's check real quick. But I think it was Dofi. I think I ran into two Dofis in a row. I did not run into a large variety of decks. I'm not gonna lie. Like I didn't see any Annul. I didn't see any Lucci. I didn't see any Smoker. So, you know, I like bracket wise, you know, I got a little lucky. I was yeah. I just ran into a lot of the decks that were like just seen across the board. Like there was so much BY at this event, you know. And yeah, I mean, in top 32, I played against Nami in top 32, and Zoro was. If I didn't play Zoro in this deck, for example, I would have lost. No question. Like Zoro, I slam it on 9, and then they just start going big, and it's just like I don't know, like they can't mill out faster than I can kill them. So, and then I played against a BY in top 16, and then you know again I played a Zoro, they lost, and then like. In game 2, I play like, you know, I was chaining Dofis until I could Hody them and kill them. And then top 8, I play against another BY. And then sort of similar, I dropped Zoro and they lost in game 1. And then game 2, I think I dropped Zoro again and they lost. So Zoro was really the MVP. And,
yeah, it sounds like he was the MVP.
Yeah, he was the MVP throughout of all of my top cut. And then oh yeah, and then against Nami, I just got really lucky. I just saw Zoro every game, like every single game 1, 2, and 3. I saw him every game. Like I mulliganed for him one game and I saw him, and then every other game I just kept my hand. I just So yeah.
All right, cool. So do you have any shout outs?
Shout out to SSG. You know they sponsor me. I'm really grateful to them for allowing me to go to these competitions, and you know I thank them for believing in me, and I'm just really grateful to have the opportunity to just go to these events and represent, you know, the store and the people I play with and all that stuff, you know.
All right, awesome. Well, it's great hearing from you.
Yeah.
Nice to see that you got, you know, second place even.
Yes.
It's a big accomplishment. So
Thank you.
hopefully we'll be seeing more from you in the future.
Yes, sir.